Hello and welcome back to Beckler Guitars and Repair, and today we're checking out a 2007 Gibson Flying V 98 reissue in natural. Let's take a look. So I found this one locally, and they weren't asking a ridiculous price, and it was in really clean condition. And I've never tried one of these 98 reissues before, so I figured I'd check it out. Comes in this really nice case. These are like the late 90s, early 2000s style cases. They have like the faux gator skin and the really nice thick handles. I really like these cases. They're super high quality. So this one actually still has the combination with the little tab intact, so that means that no one took out the tab to reset the combination. So yeah, this thing really looks like new. Where'd it go? All right, forgot the guitar was on the bench, so it's back in the case now. But yeah, here it is. So it's a gold hardware Flying V. So the whole deal with this 98 reissue thing, which sounds kind of strange, why would you reissue a guitar from 1998? It's because in 1998 they did a limited edition run of these Flying Vs in more of like a 1958 configuration. The specs aren't like exactly the same, but some of the more immediate looking things that you can notice right away is it's got like the 58 control layout, the 58 output jack location, and actually these plastics are actually just 1-ply and super thick. So that's supposed to be more like a 1958 spec. And you got this really nice gold hardware. It's even gold on the pickup screws. We've got an unbound rosewood neck with acrylic dot inlays. And that old school Gibson style truss rod cover. And this one actually has gold Grover machine heads. Mahogany body. Looks like it's a 3-piece. You can see the seam line right there. So 1, 2, and it appears like there's another seam line right there. And I believe this is the 496R 500T pickup set. But we'll have to check that out when we take it apart. And this guitar is in really, really nice condition, considering, you know, it's getting close to 20 years old. The only thing I saw was there's a little bit of pick scratches right here. It's kind of a unique place for it. The other owner must have had a kind of a unique style while playing it. And the frets are in really nice shape. No pitting or marks. And everything appears to be original. Let's just flip it over quick here. Yeah, and the back's in nice shape too. Looks like it's got the original strap buttons. There's a tiny bit of buckle warming on the back, you can see there. It's not even quite worming, it's just kind of scuffed the finish a little bit. The other owner must have been wearing a belt buckle. And then here's a look at the neck. No marks in the neck anywhere. And our headstock. So this one is dated to a 2007. And that's when they did, in the early 2000s is when they did this 98 reissue, because the 98 sold so well. And they're just considered to be really, really nice guitars. You can still find some of the original 98s on like Reverb and stuff. They sell for pretty high prices. And those guitars will have the decal on the back that says limited edition. These were a limited run as well, but they didn't get the decal. And in the compartment here, we've got all the original tags and case candy. Looks like, yeah, the original hang tag. It's got a finish thing from Gibson. User's manual. This is directions for the combo lock on the case. And this is just a pre-pack checklist. And truss tool. And this is actually the original bill of sale from 2007. I don't want to show it because it shows names and stuff. All right, very good looking guitar. And I really like the case. Let's go ahead and get it on the bench and take a closer look at its components and specs. A lot of people assume Flying V's are heavy, but they can be quite light. This is a very nice weight example. This one's weighing in at just a hair over 7 pounds. 7 pounds, 2.5 ounces, or 3.25 kilograms. And here's just a closer look at the plastic, which is a unique spec. It's just a really thick 1-ply, which apparently is how the old 58s used to have it. And there's a look at our white circular output jack on the front. And of course you've got gold hardware throughout. So here's a look at our full weight gold tailpiece. It hasn't tarnished at all, so the gold's in really nice shape. Usually when you handle these over time, they start to become silver in the areas where they can start to rub off the gold finish, but not so on this one. Very nice shape, it's full weight. And here's a look at our bridge here. So it hasn't collapsed at all, that's in good shape. And the gold is in nice shape too. It's got a PW mark at the bottom. And yeah, appears to be in nice shape. Look at how this is mounted to the body. So there are receivers on the bottom there. They seem a bit smaller than normal. Like the diameter of the screws a little bit smaller. It's not an ABR1, it's like a Nashville style because there is a receiver. So you can see the tailpiece posts have been raised a little bit. That essentially achieves the same effect as like top wrapping your tailpiece. It just raises it up a little bit and decreases the break angle on the bridge. And that gives you a little bit slinkier feeling strings. So instead of top wrapping, you can just raise your tailpiece. Some people don't like the way it looks though. The bridge pickup is reading a 14.56 and the neck pickup is an 8.23, and in the middle position it's reading a 5.25. 1958 style is you've got the half guard here, and the pickups aren't connected to the guard. They have their own pickup rings, which is cool. Some of the full guard ones, the pickups are mounted to the pick guard, and sometimes it's hard to get them perfectly level without leaning a little bit on those styles, so that's kind of nice for that reason. So let's have a look underneath the pick guard here. So yeah, there's our electronics. That all looks original. We've got our Gibson pots and our ceramic disc capacitor. All the solder points look original. Nothing looks to be messed with. We've got our original switch there. And it appears to have some sort of shielding paint in the cavity here. There's just the one route for the controls right there, and then one route for the output jack over there. Let's have a look at the pickups. So here's a look at our pickups. These are the 500T 496R pickups. You can see it just has Gibson engraved on the back of the pickup, and we've got our gold screws there and our braided wire. The route looks nice and clean, and the factory numbers are DSVN. And our neck pickup, it's more of the same. It's got Gibson USA engraved on the back with the T and the gold screws. And there's our neck pickup cavity, NA, which probably stands for natural. And here's a look at the output jack route. Basically just a route there right for the output jack, and then they screw through to attach, and then they screw through the cavities, the pickup cavities, to attach to the control cavity. And here's a look at our Gibson truss rod cover. So taking that off, you can see our truss rod's in really nice shape. There's no threads showing at all, so there's lots of room for adjustability. And our truss cover isn't the thick plastic like the pick guard. It's a 3-ply white, so this is more traditional or standard truss rod cover. They didn't use the same big thick plastic. Alright, now I'm just going to put everything back together, give this thing a setup and a restring. I'm going to condition the fingerboard, polish the frets a little bit, and then we can check the setup and plug it in and see how it sounds. Now that it's all restrung, intonated, and set up, and cleaned up, let's have a look at the condition. So yeah, the headstock's very nice condition, no scratches or dings. And I checked, this is a bone nut, so that's nice. Looks like they used a bone nut on this model. And the fingerboard is nice and dark now, it's oiled, and the frets are polished. Frets are in nice shape, like I say, there's no pitting or wear hardly at all. No pitting at all and hardly any wear. Here in this section you can see in the light there's just a little bit of like pick scratches. I tried to polish that out, but it didn't really work. It's very minor though. You can only see it when held into the light. I think I noticed one little dimple here. Yeah, there it is on the camera. And that's about the worst of anything in the front. And then on the back, again, when you hold it into the light, you can just see the little bit of that buckle worming. But again, it's very minor and it's right in like the surface. You can't even really feel it if you put your hand there. And the neck's in really nice shape. There's no impressions or dings anywhere on the neck. There's a look at our headstock with the stock Golden Grover tuners, and a look at our serial number dating it to 2007. We've got our Made in USA right there. And our two little wings on the headstock. The only thing I could see, there's a little bit of a spot here near the headstock. That might have been from a stand or something. Something reacted there. A little bit of lacquer kind of starting to lift on the side here, but you can't even feel it. And some of the lacquer over the frets is starting to crack a little bit. So you see that often on guitars with no binding from Gibson because they finish all the way up the side. And then the fret or the wood contracts a little bit due to temperature, humidity, and then the fret wants to poke out a little bit, so you get a little bit of finish lifting there. But it's not sharp at all. It feels nice and smooth. And that's all just very minor cosmetic stuff on this guitar. It's in really nice shape. Alright, let's get some specs on the neck. Width at the nut is a 1.72 or a 43.83 millimeters. And at the 12th fret, that is a 53.23 millimeters or a 2.09 inches. Depth at the first fret is a 0.83 or a 21.16 millimeters. And at the 12th fret, that is a 22.18 millimeters or a 0.87 inches. And here's a look at the neck profile. So it's a little bit of a flatter neck profile. I would almost consider that like more like a D. It's not quite as rounded as like a C. And that even flattens out a little bit more by the 12th fret. So yeah, I would consider that more of a D profile. And it definitely feels more like a D. It's definitely less rounded than some of the chunkier C's that I've had. So it kind of feels flat and kind of wide. And it feels pretty good. Sometimes light V's will have neck dive issues, but not this one. This one stays right where it should. I'm just going to quickly go throughout the whole fingerboard to make sure there's no buzzing or fretting out anywhere. I like to speed up this part, but if you want to hear it in real time, just slow down your player to 25%. So yeah, nice low action with no buzzing or fretting out anywhere. It sounds good played acoustically as well. Here it sounds. Lots of sustain. Yeah, and the neck feels good too. And I got a nice setup on this guitar. So here, using the notch straight edge, you can see that there's very little space between the straight edge and the fingerboard. So that tells us the truss rod is set nice and tight. And there's not a lot of relief in the neck, which is how I like to set up my guitars. And then here on the 3rd fret, when you use the 3rd fret, you can see the strings almost resting on the 1st fret. So that tells us that we've got nice low action over here, and our nut is cut well. And then in the 12th fret area, using a depth gauge, we can see on the low E that it's sitting just between a 0.75 and a 1 millimeter on the low E, and just about a little tiny bit lower on the high E, so between a 0.5 and a 0.75. So yeah, nice low action. All right, let's go ahead and plug it in and see how this thing sounds. All right, I'm plugged into my Fender Deluxe Reverb here in my settings. So I'm just gonna run through everything clean and then with a little bit of dirt. I'm using a Honeybee Barefoot Effects pedal for my overdrive. So yeah, it sounds great clean. The neck pickup is nice and clear, not muddy at all, and just really nice tones throughout. I'm gonna try with a little bit of dirt. right, final thoughts on the 2007 1998 Reissue Flying V in natural. Great guitar. I mean, it checks all the boxes. It's super light. There's no neck dive. It's got a great feeling neck. The pickups sound really, really good. It stays in tune well, and it looks gorgeous. There's not a lot of bad things to say about this guitar. I really like the look of the super thick half pick guard. That's what makes this guitar a little bit unique, as well as the output jack placement, kind of the 1958 style. And the action's super nice and low, very easy to play. I like the neck. It's a wider feeling neck, kind of flatter with that D profile, but it really makes you want to like shred, and it's quite comfortable even with larger hands. These pickups can be kind of hit and miss. I've found ones that I really like, this set of pickups, and I found ones that I really don't like. It really just depends on the individual pickup, the year they were made, all sorts of different factors. But this set is quite nice. It sounded great clean, and with a little bit of overdrive, as well as, you know, heavily distorted too. And yeah, there's just something about a natural V with gold hardware that's just super classy. It just looks great. As far as flaws in the guitar, there aren't that many. Some of the frets are cracking the finish a little bit on the side, not to the point where you can feel it or anything. I think there's some slight lacquer lifting on the headstock veneer there, and some very subtle surface scuffs. And it comes with the original hardshell case and all the papers and everything. This is a great guitar. If you're interested in this guitar, I'm going to have it up for sale on the Reverb page, so the link will be in the description. But other than that, thank you for tuning in to Beckler Guitars and Repair, and I'll have more for you really soon. Thanks a lot.